Welcome to Baxter Yoga. I'm here at the Oakland Yoga Studio today. Please come check out the studio the next time you're in town. And don't forget, you can order my book, Yoga for Healthy Aging, co-authored with Nina Zolotoff, as well as Yoga for Healthy Aging t-shirts from my website. Look for the links on the website. So today I'm excited to return to a pose that we've looked at dynamically in the past, called the high plank pose, or the plank pose. In fact, we had a video that featured Nina Zolotoff when I first started doing the dynamic sequences a couple years ago. So you might check that out if you haven't seen it. So we came into down dog and then swung forward into high plank for a moment and then went right back to down dog. But we didn't stay in high plank. So today we're actually going to come into static high plank and stay in the posture for several breaths. Now, if your wrists are sensitive, look for another video that I will have out soon on the forearm version of high plank or plank pose. That will be a great alternative for you. But if your wrists permit, then you're going to do this, and the things you want to watch out for is the alignment of the arms being vertically aligned and the body being in one long line so the butt's not sticking up in the air or the belly's not sagging dramatically, and a sense of gentle lift in the chest. Not so much that the back rounds dramatically today. We'll look at another version of the plank pose eventually, but for now, letting the spine be relatively neutral in the pose. So without further ado, I'm going to first come into down dog and then use that as the entrance into the plank position. And then we're going to stay for a couple breaths where I'll give you some things to be mindful of. So let's start by coming to hands and knees. And you could have a blanket for your knees if you want. However, I'm not going to have that right now. I'm going to have my hands a little forward to my shoulders, so that will allow me to get closer to the plank position once I'm up and in the ready position. So on an exhale, come to down dog for a moment, and then go ahead and come right into the high plank. I'm looking at my arms to get the vertical alignment. So I don't want to be back here, and I don't want to be way out here. I want to be nice and vertical so that my wrists have a neutral position. I want to watch out for the sagging of the belly or the spiking or piking of the pelvis. So nice and even, lifting the breastbone up a little bit. Instead of looking forward, look down to the space between the hands. Imagine there's a block between the inner thighs that you're firming against to engage the belly, to engage the legs, which subsequently will engage the belly a little more actively. Now we've been here probably at least 6 breaths, maybe 8. So I'm going to suggest on an exhale to bend your knees a little bit and press back toward down dog, and then let your knees come down for a moment and take a rest. You might even take the hands and just shake them out a little bit. All right, so that's static plank pose or high plank as opposed to a lower version where you might be on the forearms. And we're going to do it one more time. So again, vertical alignment, nice long even line between the shoulders and the heels, a sense of lift in the breastbone, and some activity in the legs. All right, so here we go. Hands are ready, feet go back, come to down dog for a moment, and then as you inhale, come into the high plank position. Use your eyes to check your arms. You can even look underneath the body to make sure that you're not spiking or collapsing. And then once you've got that set, a gentle lift between the shoulder blades, the eyes gazing down, the inner thighs active. And you know, the breath might be a little faster, a little deeper because you're working a little more vigorously on a pose that builds upper body strength and supports good core strengthening as well. And so on your next exhale, bend the knees a little bit, press back to down dog for a moment. You can straighten your legs there if you'd like, and then come on down and release out of the posture. So shake the hands out a little bit. I almost always do a little wrist release after I do poses like that put a lot of pressure into the hands. So plank pose today, the static version, a great one for building overall strength in the body, especially the upper body and the core. Try that out in your practice this week, see what you think. Don't forget, you can continue following me online at my website, baxterbell.com, as well as my YouTube channel, Baxter Bell Yoga. I have longer practices on the practice channel at the website Yoga U Online. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.